Well, hello, y'all. Welcome back to TJ's Modeling Bench. It's time for another What Did You Buy Wednesday? And I haven't done one of these in a little while, so I thought it was time to catch up with a few of the things I've bought recently. And the first thing I bought was at the IPMS show in Anniston, Alabama, a couple weekends ago. And, you know, you've all seen these, and I've got a similar one to this, but a glue bottle holder, the 3D printed kind of thing. And I actually got two things. I've got this, and I picked up this one, and I haven't fully figured out just what I'm keeping in it and what I'm not, but as you can see right now, I've got some sanding sticks and a couple of nippers in this one. And the one thing I really like about this one is this round side. And I don't really have too many round bottles, but the one thing I do have, so in the square side, you can put things like the Tamiya liquid primer or the Tamiya cement, the one in the octagonal shaped bottle, but it fits in there pretty good. I mean, it's a little loose, but you know, it's nice to have some things together like this. So I picked both of those pieces up for a total of about $15, I think. So that one was kind of nice. You know, any little tool and storage thing that I can find for my workbench, I gravitate toward those a little bit. And some things work the way I want them to, some things don't. So I'm always looking for other options. And while I was there as well, I was looking at some of the vendor tables, and I came across this guy printing 3D vehicles. And I know the buses and things have been pretty popular recently. And I found this. So it's a bus body. And the one thing I didn't realize till I got back to the house with it, there is no front end for it. There's no hood. So I'm going to have to figure something out there, and believe it or not, I don't even have a card for the vendor that was selling these. Now, it does come with a chassis for it. So the chassis does fit this body. Yeah. So we can make that work, but I got to figure out something for this front end. Don't really know what I'm going to do yet. But I thought maybe I might use this for my channel shop vehicle challenge that Mark Batson put out, Hobby Dude 007. You know, I had started working on that Chevy Nova 2 wagon, which is a curbside. And I'm still going to do that, but I might do this van as well if I can figure out a front end for it. But I think I paid... I don't recall exactly, but I want to say I only paid about $20 for this, but it might have been $30. I don't really recall. But I thought it was cool and worth what I paid for it at the time. So whatever that was, I thought it was worth it. The other thing I picked up, so if you've watched some videos in the past of mine, you know that I was in the Air Force active duty, and I was an aircraft mechanic. Crew chief is what we call them. But I was on B-52 bombers initially, and then I went to the B-2 bombers when they were new in '93 and spent a total of about 5 years on those. But my little brother, well, my next youngest brother, I have two younger brothers. My next youngest brother, Jeff, he went into the Air Force after he graduated high school as well. And that lucky son of a gun, he was able to get aircraft maintenance on F-16s at Luke Air Force Base in Phoenix, Arizona, whereas my first duty assignment was B-52s at Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota. Yeah, big difference. Anyway, I have never built an F-16, and I saw this on a vendor table. Now, I don't know the differences between the different blocks. You've got block 4050 in this kit, so F-16 DG or DJ. I got to do some research and figure out what those differences are. I don't know that much about it. But I really got a deal on this one. So if you can see, he had it marked at $30. And I went to him early in the morning, not long after the show really opened up for registration. And I had two 20s with me. So I offered him money to purchase this kit, and he did not have change. So he gave me this kit for $20. So it's Kinetic Models. I know that's a pretty good brand. I'm not even that familiar with Kinetic, to be honest with you. But I think for $20, I probably got a real bargain on this. I'm hoping so, anyway. I have not opened it. Won't for a while, but I have an idea that I may build this in tribute to my brother, and maybe we'll do some shows with it when it's done, and then maybe I'll gift it to him. We'll see how that goes. Also, so I'm working on the F4 Phantom, and the wheels and tires that I had bought back in 2005 for that kit were resin cast from True Details. And after looking at them closer, they were weighted wheels, which I thought was a great idea at the time. But looking at them, they just don't look properly weighted. They look underinflated, actually, almost like flat tires. So I was able to find Eduard Brasson, and these are actually, I don't think they're 3D printed. I think they are a resin cast. But it's the wheel and tires with chocks, wheel chocks. And in fact, it even comes with painting masks. So you can mask your tires and paint your wheels. So that's going to get used instead of the ones that I had that I wasn't too sure of anyway. And while I was looking for those, I saw these and I thought, what the heck? They weren't too expensive, so I picked them up anyway. But they are actually wheel well bay plugs that they're just like a foam rubber, and you insert those into the wheel wells so you paint those first, right? Plug them up, and then you can paint your aircraft exterior, whatever, your camo or whatever exterior finish color you're using. But I thought that was kind of a neat idea, so we'll look at those, and if they work for what we're going to do, then we'll use them. And if not, like I said, they weren't real expensive. If they don't work on this kit, maybe I'll do another F4 in the future and we'll use them on that one. These are specifically made, though, for the Hasegawa kit, so we'll see how that goes. And there was a couple other details that I saw that I thought I might replace as well. The first one is the fuel dump on the F4, which comes out just underneath the rudder and above the tail end of the fuselage. And the kit piece doesn't look bad, but this 3D printed piece does look better. There was actually two of them. I've already removed one for the kit that we're building. Cleaned it up a little bit. It's not attached. I don't have the fuselage pieces together yet, but it definitely does improve what the kit offers. So we got that, and there's a couple of scoops, air scoops. All right, real little bitty things, but I don't know if you can see through not really, kind of maybe. Anyway, they're also an improvement over the kit offering, because they get a nice thin edge on them, like the real scoops would have, whereas the plastic in the kit's just a little bit thick and oversized to be scale. So those are those things. And this one I found, I think I was surfing Facebook, different modeling pages that I look at, and this thing popped up, and I thought this was really cool. Now, it may be overkill in a sense, but it's a 3D printed alternator, but it's actually a multi-piece kit. Yeah, again, you're probably not going to see that real well through the plastic, but like it's all the components that make up your alternator. And the one that they showed on the advertisement was all painted up, looked just superb. So I actually picked up 2 of them just for the heck of it. But yeah, it just looked so nice. I really couldn't pass it up. They had me hooked. So I got those. Another thing, oh yeah. So another future build that I'm gonna do is like a boogie van, right? An early 70s, mid 70s van, decked out, and a figure I saw kind of put an idea in my head. Now, in the advertisement for this figure, and I want to say I found this on eBay, they made the picture appear as though she was nude. She is not, but they had little black bars over the naughty bits. And when it arrived, I was a little surprised to see this, but she actually is wearing a bikini. But that's going to be just fine because what I have in mind, she'll be more or less covered up anyway. But yeah, the idea that came to my mind when I saw this, I think is going to look really good with the boogie van when we get to that. Another item that I picked up for the bench, scratch building, that kind of thing, are these, what do they call them, insect pins, right? And I've got some, and these are actually a little bit smaller than the ones I already have. Let's see if I can get this open. I haven't actually opened this yet, but let's see what we can do here. All right, so, and the thing that these come in handy for that I found so far, and I'm sure there's other uses that can be found for them. If I can get this thing open. Yeah, there we go. All right. So these are number 3. Oh, actually, it's an assortment. I've got number 3s, 0s, number 4s, double aughts, number 2s, and number 1s. And those numbers correspond to the gauge of the wire. Let's see if I can make this. There you go. All right. So some are thicker, some are thinner, right? It's to gauge the wire. But what I've used them for up to this point is your turn signal stems on the older cars. Most of them were a stick that had like a chrome colored shaft on it with a black knob of some sort on the end. And usually in the kit, the rendering they give you is far from scale. It's usually far too thick and just doesn't look good. And there's always a seam line on it that you got to scrape away. And it always bugged me. So I found that cutting one of these down looks much more accurate in scale. And like I said, I'm sure there's other uses. I just haven't stumbled upon some of those yet. Maybe you can cut them down and use them as a rivet or a pin in a hinge, maybe. I don't know. But, yeah, so that's what I got to share with y'all this time. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I'd love to have you. And thank you to those that have already subscribed. And thank you to whoever you are right now watching this video. I appreciate you. Till the next time, y'all, peace and love.
Oh no!